Hello and welcome to Europa Universalis 4, and welcome to Beginning Anew. This will be an ongoing series where I analyze countries and discuss some tactics and strategies that you can use to become a world power and dominate the international stage. I'm always happy to receive more requests as to which country I should review next, but for now, let us begin anew. Today's nation, Anew-Ceylon. Now this was a private request someone sent me in a private message. They wanted to talk about Anew-Ceylon, this poor little island down next to Vijayanagar, the big ass yellow man, and Bahamas, the blue bronstrosity. I don't know how to say it. Anyhow, so Sian. I read this one. Anew-Ceylon has Ceylonese ideas. Pronunciations will once again be a problem. However, we are Kingdom rank, we are Indian tech, and Theravada in religion, which is actually a Buddhist religion, and you share it with most of Southeast Asia. Not including, of course, Indonesia. However, let's carry on back to our nation. We have a King 224, not the greatest, however you won't be having issues with military tech, that's for sure. 14 development puts you quite low, however you do have that straight crossing, which will most definitely help you out in many battles. Your starting ideas: trade efficiency plus 10% and fort defense plus 10%. Trade efficiency definitely useful, fort defense can be as well. Gaba Dargaram. Alright, let's just call it bartering. And it gives us a national tax modifier plus 10%. Good stuff. And next on we have Sinhalese Sandis. It's a poem apparently about the messenger. It talks about the king, so we get some yearly prestige apparently, eh? Pearl of the Indian Ocean, indeed. So we get some pearls, which means we get more merchants. Wonderful, especially if you're deciding that India should become your oyster with your pearls inside. However, continuing, we have a center of learning. Buddhism has been marginalized. It has indeed, if we have a look at India. Pretty much no Buddhist here, but anyhow, continuing. We have, due to which we have a diplomatic reputation. Developing the cinnamon trade gives us goods produced plus fair plus 10%. Growth of new caste. The South Asian world is ever-changing place. Over Christians and Arabs, and as the Muslim conquest of much of India. This is of course when the Mughal Empire happens. However, we get production efficiency plus 10%, and guerrilla warfare, attrition for enemies plus 1. Lastly, we get Sinhalese ambitions, which is domestic trade power plus 10%. As I said before, we're bordering two major powers, but if we are lucky, we can take this and a few other small nations using our sea connection to fabricate on them. Also, if we're lucky, we might be able to get some good alliances, which will save our asses. It is important to note that Jaffna, this nation right next to you, is a vassal of Vijayanagar, which will make expansion quite difficult without correct allies. However, let's go on to the history of Anew-Ceylon. History. Anew-Ceylon has a history, that is for sure, and let us continue through said history. As you can see, nothing is happening, and it won't for quite a while. I can promise you that much. Anew-Ceylon was an island, and today it is still an island, but is no longer independent. As you can see here, the Vijayanagar just collapsed. Soon we'll have the Mongols. Here we are. Mongols are entering India, and Anew-Ceylon is still an island. Not much changes there. Dear God, something just changed. Portugal has arrived, and Anew-Ceylon will soon, most probably, be little more than Portugal. Or is that not going to happen? Mongols are still existing, and here we go. The Dutch just took Anew-Ceylon, after which nothing really happens until the English arrive. Let's have a look. 1710, 1720, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Will Ceylan ever change? I think we all know the answer to that. It does. It becomes British. And after which the game ends. So that was Ceylan history. Not too glamorous, especially not in this game. However, we'll have to go in-game to see some more in-depth tactics. Welcome in-game to Ceylan, where we have our capital fort and nothing else. Although we do have a coastal center of trade, which gives us a bit of power in said node. Our navy is quite substantial, 11 ships. The Vijayanagara obviously has more, but if we actually have a look at how much more, you might be surprised. Vijayanagara quite low down, only 25 ships, which means we're barely half their size. With a few good allies, however, that can be easily changed. Problem is, of course, you are a wrong religion, which means allies might be hard to come by, especially before we put any rivals. And sadly, our only rivals are Mandurai. Hooray! However, we can fabricate on these guys. We can fabricate here, here, not here sadly, but these three nations can all be eaten by you in short time. And if we're lucky, we can get some good alliances as well. 54 is not too hard to overcome, especially if we decide to rival Vijayanagara. Other than that, other ideas could be an exodus to said Southeast Asia if we decide to go colonial, or if we just decide to attack someone quite aggressively, said one of these two nations here, or even Pegu, which is relatively well placed as well. Alliances in the east might be easier to come by than the west, however even then things might be difficult. As we all know, Ceylan is an island and it didn't expand for much reason, that is these. However, again, if we perhaps do some blockading and some tricky alliance work, things can most definitely go better. But for now, let's move on to the achievements and hope for the best. Achievements. So Ceylan has one wonderful achievement. It is called the Buddhist Strike Back. And it's very, very easy to get. All you need to do is to take all of India and convert it all to your religion. Perfectly reasonable, is it not? But yes, that requires you to take all of here, all across up here, and down across here. And did I mention, convert it all to Buddhist. Convert it all to Theravada. And so, that is the main big achievement of the Buddhists, is to take back all of India. And I'm sure all of you will be more than happy to try this yourself. Perhaps I'll even do it once navies get a little buff in the next Mare Nostrum DLC. We'll have to see. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and again, I'm happy to take any requests for new videos.